Hi, I'm Stefanie Wainwright. I'm a wife, a mom, a business owner, and my life is chaotic all the time. So I created this podcast to help you find the funny, the good, while navigating through the chaos. This is Chaotic Compass Podcast.
Okay, it is always a hot mess every single time I try to record an episode, and so if you are looking for if you're looking for perfection, you have come to the wrong place. So I literally have January still up on. It's the end of February. I'm trying my best. Like January. I'm trying my best. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Stefanie. This is Chaotic Compass. It is always a chaos. It's a hot mess. And so I'm so glad that you are here tuning in to listen to me bitch and sip about all things. Tonight, we are going to dive into more of manifesting. I did an episode on manifesting back episode 80. It was back in October. So if you've missed out, dive into that first, but you can listen to this too. So I listened to a audiobook today. I literally listened to it in a whole day. So it's not one of those that's going to take you a whole week to listen to. It's Manifest by Roxy Nafousi. I'm probably saying her last name wrong. Nafouse, Roxy Nafousi. And it broke down everything that I've already known about manifesting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this needs to be out there. So I didn't come up with this. This was already out there into the universe. And so I just want to put it out there into more simplistic things. And so I downloaded her book on Audible. It's there. I do a subscription, so you can get it there. You could probably get it at your library for free. So, Manifest by Roxy Nafousi is where I got all of this. This isn't me originally. It's what I've learned along the way. I'm just trying to redefine it and put it back out there into the world. So, here we go. I'm telling you, the devil is trying to keep us down, to keep me down. We were sick for weeks. We had the flu or something, and then my knee is not good, you guys. It's crunchy and it's feeling 90, and so and kid shit and bullshit, and even tonight it was like, I see you, but I'm gonna do this, so you're not gonna hold me back, so you can get the fuck out. So here I am, going to talk about manifest, and I'm going to tell you why that story has something to do with what I'm going to talk about. So with Roxy's book, and she's English, and I love her accent, so that's why I really dug listening to her talk. For one, I'm a sucker for an accent, but her diving into each individual step she had figured out along the way of how to manifest. And I'm going to go into the difference between manifest and law of attraction later on. So wait for that too. But there are, according to her, 7 steps. I think you could probably combine some of these, but according to her, there's 7 steps. 7's a lucky number, so maybe she was just trying to get 7 out of something. But first step, you cannot manifest anything unless you have a clear vision. She puts it into her book as, so if you're trying to get to your local airport, you wouldn't put airport into your GPS. You would name it by that name. Like our local airport, which sucks, by the way, is Newport News Williamsburg Airport. I think there's like 3 flights that go out of there on a daily basis. But, you wouldn't just put in the local airport. You would name it by the name. So it's naming what you specifically want. And that's really hard for a lot of people. I'm not going to lie. You have to take a minute. So you have to remove all the distractions. That's going to be your hardest part to try to get to figure out even what you want. But where do you see yourself in a year? I dove into this a little bit back in episode 80. But you've got to figure out, okay, where do you want to be in 10 years? And if that's too crazy, dial it back. Where do you see yourself in 5? Where do you see yourself in a year? If you cannot figure out where you want to be in a year and you're saying, I'm going to keep doing the same thing in a year, then you're not living. Like, I love you, sis, the one row in the back. You have a life that you want. What do you want? And when do you want to get there? Do you want to get to that in a year? Or do you think that's going to happen for you 10 years? Or it's so crazy. People have dreams that they want, but when they start calling their shot, it scares them. That's step 2. We'll get into that. But first, just let all of that go for a hot minute. What do you want? Right? I feel like I'm on the Notebook. What do you want? Just tell me what you want. It's not that easy. No, it literally is. Nobody's telling you that you can say the right thing or say the wrong thing. You and a pen, or you and a computer, you and your phone, you and some, cool pencils and making this beautiful artwork because you maybe are way artistic than I am. However you get it from here onto something, or even if you just vocally say it out loud. Nobody has to be around. Nobody actually has to witness. The universe is your witness, okay? Figure out what you want. That is step 1. Get a clear vision. But it goes into a little bit deeper than that. I'm going to talk about why. But when you figure out what you want, how does it feel? This is what gets me. I have a hard time with the abundance of joy just like gushing out of me. It's so hard not to sob. It's so hard not to cry for me. So having a vision and then focusing on how do you feel? Now, take that feeling and we're gonna put that right here in a little box, and we're gonna just keep it here for a second because we're gonna name that feeling and dive into that feeling in a second. But step 1, create a vision, but attach a feeling, a positive feeling, to your vision, and we're gonna hold on to that so step 1. Step 2. You have to remove all of your fear and all of your doubt. This is the hardest freaking step, and it might take a lot of self-diving into and figuring out, why do I have these negative feelings and this negative connotation about me just trying to better myself, or me trying to better my family, or me trying to just go above and beyond. Why do I have a negative connotation, right? For instance, Roxy in the book gives a couple examples of, I really want to meet the love of my life, but this person had been cheated on twice before in the relationships prior to, and so this person was harboring around that they weren't good enough, that they're going to get cheated on again, that there aren't any good people out there. So they literally are carrying that into the world. That's a whole lot of baggage. And you yourself have to figure out how to get rid of all of that baggage to be able to present yourself to being, I am lovable. And that's going to get into step 3. But you have to remove the fear and remove the doubt. Some people, they even have a hard time even just talking about their vision. Be like, hey, I really want to own 5 rental properties. Well, I don't know. Maybe 3. I think by the end of the year, I think it would be really awesome maybe if I could own 1. Whoa, do you even hear yourself? Like, okay, yes, that's an audacious dream for any of us that are struggling to pay a mortgage or rent right now. So preach it, sister, that you have called your shot and saying, I want to own a rental property. Go you. But did you hear yourself? I think I might want to, and then you started at 5 and you dialed it back to 3 and you dialed it back to 1. That's not confidence. You have to remove all the fear and the doubt. And it's going to take a lot of work on you. And so you have to prepare you for the future you. So don't doubt yourself. Call your shot. Say your dream. Shout them without fear. You are worthy of your dream. You are worthy of your dream. Don't let anybody or anything tell you that you're not. I am here, if anything else, to tell you that you are worthy of your dream. So go get it. At least call it out. Write it down. Message me. If you need accountability, I'm here for it. Just let the universe know at a bare minimum, hey, this is my dream. You know what the universe is? Literally you sitting in your bedroom with nobody else, and that's how the universe listens to you. God, Allah, Earth, all-knowing. Like, there's so many, whatever you want to put in there as you and your faith or not faith, but this is, I'm going to say universe, and you can insert whatever you want there. So inner work on limiting beliefs is going to be a big thing here. I did talk about limiting beliefs. I think it was the last episode. So there's a mindset. You have to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset here. You want to dive into that one? That's episode 83, whatever. Last one, go back. I'm not too sure which number it is. So, and you have to, and this is the final point that I'm going to make on number 2. You have to remove the if. If I get to buy this new car, if I get to marry the man of my dreams, if I get to have kids, if I get to be a mother, if you gotta stop. When I own the home of my dreams, when I buy the car that I've been wanting for months now, when I find the person of my dreams, when needs to automatically be replaced in where you keep putting the if. No more ifs. If that can be the only thing that I could put out there in the world for this right now, if you can stop saying if. That's it. No more ifs. It's all when. It's going to happen. You don't know how. It's going to happen. Just have faith in your own damn self, much less the universe, okay? Just to put the word when I get what I'm dreaming, okay? That's step 2. So step 1, clear on your vision. Step 2, removing your fear and your doubt. Step 3, this is a big one. Aligning your behavior. Okay, let me dive into this before you start raising your hands and questioning me about what I've got going on. Aligning your behavior. And this right here is what I talked about before. This is the difference between law of attraction and manifestation. So law of attraction is I think it and there it'll be. Manifestation is, well, I got to be a little bit proactive. Let me explain. Okay, I want to be an actress. I don't really, but here we are. We're going to use it as an example. I want to be an actress. And so I've called my shot. I've had a clear vision. I see me up on the stage doing some acting shit. Forgive me of all the actresses and actors out there in the world. I don't know. So I see me on the stage in the spotlight doing my thing. But here I am, nowhere near that. So what am I going to do? I am going to figure out any connection I have to that. Okay, first of all, if I've never acted before, I'm definitely going to figure out how I can get some acting lessons, or I'm going to YouTube some shit. I'm telling you, everything you want to know is on the internet for fucking free. So YouTube, how to become an actor, and so you can get some lessons, or they can walk you through some tutorials. Record yourself doing a scene from your favorite movie. This is how you get there. You need to be proactive, and you, as you are now, becoming this. My next question is, if you were an actress, how would you act? How would you be? How would you put yourself out into the universe? How would you exist in the world? Who would you be talking to on a daily basis? Who are you making connections with? What job, which roles are you playing? Like all of those things. And so think about the things of how you would act. I know that's probably the worst example, but how you would be as an actress or actor. And if you were thinking, okay, and then put it in your scenario, obviously. So you're a mom. You're not a mom now, but you want to be a mom. Okay, so how would you be as a mom? Or if you are a wife or a husband and you are not now, how would you act then? And so literally pretend to be in your mind that person. And your brain is going to open up ideas and ways of things that you can be that higher self, that future self of yours. The example of fake it till you make it is the worst. It's the I'll fake it till you become it. So you just keep pretending until you are. But here's where self-sabotage comes in. And so you'll get into a groove. You'll start reaching out. You'll start talking to people. You start making connections, right? You have a brother's cousin, that would probably be your cousin, right? So your brother-in-law's cousin's stepmom's dog walker is really good into the Broadway scene. And so that's something that you've always wanted. And so you make that connection. You talk to your brother-in-law or the dog walker or even the person that is associated with Broadway. You make that connection. You start talking to people. And then all of a sudden, either you own self-sabotage or shit starts happening out of your control. I can give you 1,000 examples of how I can only associate new levels, new devils. When everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And when you and your comfort zone start vibrating at a higher frequency than you normally were, all of a sudden something starts to pull you down. Whether that it's not necessarily the universe, it might be you and your inner brain trying to pull you back to the comfort zone. There's other shit out there that's trying to just, whoa, let's calm down. Let's bring that back down a tick. Self-sabotage in that era is hardcore. It's literally me right now with this podcast. It has been how many weeks, you guys? You could probably count it better off than I can. And it is disappointing to me where I literally will go on a Thursday and I would either be exhausted or I've got a parent class for my rising middle schooler, or I was sick, or I'm hurt, or I'm exhausted, or whatever excuse I'm telling in my head. Tonight, it was Every Thursday night, we have 2 of the 4 kids. They come in the door, they're starving, they eat, and then Ryan gets them back out the door. Tonight, neither one of them were hungry. Never seen that in my entire existence, that a child is not hungry by 6 o'clock. Or 6:30 at that point. And I'm like, I told Ryan at the beginning of the day, I was like, hey, I'm going to record a podcast tonight. I'll give everybody some time, but by 7 o'clock, I'm going to be upstairs. And then 6:45 is rolling around and neither one of them kids has eaten. And I'm like, here's the position that you're putting me in. I am going to record a podcast and I need everybody at least downstairs and not walking around. This is where I need to be. I'm not letting this be one more fucking excuse to why I'm not doing it. I'm doing it, universe. Here we are. Okay? Now, the big problem is me editing and uploading tomorrow. But it's literally what I'm going through. I'm at that stage. Like, I'm not looking for this podcast to be a millions of dollar maker or be number 1 on the podcast list or talked about on the Today Show. I'm literally just trying to put my words out there, and so somebody resonates with it, and then therefore they don't feel alone with that subject. You can go back through. I've made 80 something podcasts. Now, it hasn't been consistent because I've had mental health issues and I've had struggles and I've had issues. And so I'm trying my best and I want that to be as real as possible because I'm going to put that out there. I don't want to paint a pretty picture and be like, oh, sorry guys, I'm back now. No, here's the reason why. I suck and I didn't have motivation and I'm trying my best. It's not that I suck. That's bad verbiage, but I didn't have motivation and I was exhausted and I needed a break. I needed a Tuesday or a Thursday to just not. This past Sunday, I didn't get out of bed. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It was just because I needed it. Be graceful with yourself, but at the same time, don't let that impede what the universe is trying to put towards you. Okay? So, number 1, clear on your vision. Number 2, remove your fear and doubt. Number 3, align your behavior. Number 4 kind of backs up number 3 of overcoming your test from the universe. And I know that tonight was a test from the universe. Hey, do you really want it? Do you really want to record this podcast? Do you really want this to be a thing for you? Because here's this obstacle. Are you gonna just walk away or are you gonna hop over it? And I'm hopping over it. I'm going to keep pushing through. And so it might not be obvious, but every time you try to elevate yourself, there's going to be a test. It's the example that Roxy, the author in this book, had given was she had a friend that kept, complaining about, I've only keep meeting these guys, these worthless guys, and I really want to meet the love of my life. It's been a year. I haven't dated anybody. I haven't been with anybody. And she's like, well, a year's really not that long. After a year, she's like, I'm done waiting. And then dated the first guy and they were horrible and cheated on her and treated her like shit. And so, but it only prolonged, derailed her from getting to her soulmate, because you don't want to be alone for an extended amount of time because that's uncomfortable. You are going for what you think is right. And it didn't feel right to this person, but they kept pushing through and they were with this person for way too long. And then they wound up being hurt again. And you don't just, with all due time, it's going to happen. You have to just wait and let the universe show you. The examples that I had wrote down from the book, it was if you try and it doesn't work, something better is waiting for you. So this was my biggest thing. It's, I'm not afraid of failing, right? Like, okay, or I'm not afraid of having a no in my face. I'm not afraid of somebody telling me no. I'm afraid of working my ass off and getting to a certain point and investing all of my dollars and falling flat on my face. That would be devastating. And I feel like that cripples me from even trying sometime, because it's like, wait, hold on. What if it would work out, Steph? What if you didn't fall flat on your face? What if you made $1 bajillion? But my brain doesn't think like that, and I've got to figure out how to rewire my brain. And so that's a possibility. Apparently, there is meditation practices that you can do. You're supposed to be able to do them on a daily basis. There is a period of time that she talks about in the book is early mornings when you first wake up, right at night, right before you go to bed, and when you're in a meditative state, which I don't know who does that during the day. I tried when I even worked at home, and I don't even know how to do that anymore. So, but there are certain period of time during the day when you are in this state where it unlocks to where your brain is literally, it'll listen to your subconscious is here listening, right? And so if you are scrolling through your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever fucking social media, it's going to absorb all of that shit. And all your brain sees of all these random weird ass people that you've never met with all of this random weird ass shit that you don't have. And it's making that, connection that you don't have that, you won't have that. And then therefore that time that should be spent on your affirmations, your mantras, your meditation, you getting right with you, you're spending it scrolling on your phone, getting sucked into somebody else's lives that your, brain knows that you will never, ever be able to reach because you're scrolling your phone. And those people aren't scrolling their phones. They're the ones that are hustling, making the reels. Like, I could watch Elise Myers all day, right? I mean, she met the Jonas Brothers, for Christ's sake. So, anyways, my point is, right before bed and right when you wake up, you need to not pick up your phone except for a meditation, a mantra, a moment where you are in this space. If you need good night guided meditations or good morning guided meditations, Google it. There's a bajillion out there. This chick apparently has a bunch on her website. I don't know. Google Roxie, Roxie Nafousi. I'm butchering it. I know it. Nafouse. Roxie Nafousi. She's got shit that's on her website, but wake up, go to sleep with good vibes, and that's supposed to be a super hack. But I think I got ahead myself. I think that's the hack for the next one. But if you feel like things are falling apart, they actually are falling into place. And I could preach so hard to this shit. It's like my life in 2019 was a complete hot mess. I thought 2020 was bad, but it was a hot mess. I don't want to take away from that. But 2019 getting up into 2020, it was like, my boyfriend at the time, he's like, I'm going to quit my job, because I'm going to go all in on you, whatever you need. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it was April Fool's. And so I thought it was a joke. And then by July, he had quit his job and really didn't have another job lined up. He went to work for this other company, and that really didn't work out. And we had to be out of the house that we're living in. And so we were scrambling to find something that was zoned for my son. And it all fell apart. Everything that I knew from July, well, even June, everything that I knew in June pretty much was gone by October. That was the year that our charter boat, that was a brutal year. I mean, 2020 was an amazing year compared to that year. Everything was literally falling apart. And I looked my husband, or my boyfriend at the time, I looked him in the face. I'm like, this isn't where we need to be. What do you want to do? He's like, I just want to work on boats. And I'm like, then do it. Go. Do you. Go and be that person. I don't know how we're going to make it through, but I know we're going to make it through. The money's always going to be there. I have faith. So he did. And he started his mobile marine business in October of 2019. And we acquired the charter boat by January of the next year. And then COVID happened. But, I had never been more sure that it was going to work out, but I had no clue. I had no freaking clue. But I literally was trying to overcome all of those tests that the universe was showing. Like, okay, well, you're quitting your job. Okay, well, you only have this much time to get out of your job. Okay, well, because you lost your job, then, because our home was, we were renting from, our boss, our ex-boss, and so we needed to be out of our house. And so it's a test. Every single thing is a freaking test. And the charter boat didn't get started until August, which is crazy. And so it's a test. Everything's a test. And I don't know if I passed it because there was a lot of fights and a lot of drag out tears but I married my husband in October of 2019 as well. So I don't know if that shows how much of a crazy state I was in. So if there was a, sanity test, I probably wouldn't have passed. But so we're still married. But you go back and you look at the things that were the hardest parts in your life. Look at the little breakthroughs or the big breakthroughs that came after that. I was at the lowest point in my life in 2015, and Ren and I started dating at the end of 2015. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying it's a thing. You are going through a test. You're going through a test. Don't give up. Okay? The 1, 2, 3s and the 3, 2, 1s that I keep seeing. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. This is your sign. Don't give up. Okay. Overcoming the test. So let's recap. We've got, okay. So we've gone through 4 of them, and we are already 30 minutes into this, and the last 3 are not going to be easy too. Okay. So how about I do this in 2 parts? I'm going to 2-parter you guys. Ooh, I know you guys love that so much. So recap what we've talked about today. Step 1, clear on the vision. Number 2, remove your fear and your doubt. Number 3, align your behavior. Number 4, overcome the test from the universe. So I think you guys should work on those few things and come back next week, and we are going to dive into the last 3. I promise you we're going to get through this. And if you want to, go ahead and go get this book. It's by Roxy Nafousi, Manifest, and it's a really amazing book, and you can get the cheat code. You don't have to wait for me next week. But she dives into each one of these things way harder than I did, and it's something I'm so passionate about because I've seen it. I've seen all the house that I live in, the car that I drive, my kids being all in the same school, me working for my own company, my own self, and things that I have seen, that I have visioned in my head. And I have so many big ones. I mean, you can probably, debt free, like that's a big one. And so, it's something I'm super passionate about, and I will keep preaching it until the day I die. So again, my name's Stefanie. This is Chaotic Compass, and I talk about all the things. And this week we're talking about manifesting. So tune in to part 2, and I will give you the last 3 steps of what you need. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, hey, by the way, I bitch and sip, and I forgot to even sip. That's how passionate I am about this shit. So rum and cokes are my jam, and so here's a rum and coke to you guys. Love you.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate all of your love and support. If you really loved today's episode, you should subscribe. And if you subscribe, then you get notifications of when my next episode launches. So another way to be super awesome would be to leave a rating and review or recommend it to your friends and family. If you're wicked awesome, you've already done all 3. Another way to keep up with me and my crazy family is check out my website at chaoticcompass.com, and I do blog and other stuff there. So I appreciate everything for you guys. I do this for you, so keep it up, because the more you subscribe, the more I do.